Hey guys, what's going on? Okay, so definitely some things in the swing. I think that'll help just improve bat speed, improve bat control. Swing looks good. A lot of good things I'm seeing in the swing, but just a couple things to work on here. So down here is where your practice plan is going to be, and I will post that for you guys here after the analysis. But quickly, let's get to this. Let's get to the meat and potatoes here, if you will. So, like I said, a lot of good things in the swing, but definitely some things I think that we can use or that we can clean up. Just clean up in the swing and taking a look here. The stance and the setup is really the first place that I start. So, stance and the setup looks pretty good. And maybe start with those hands a little bit further back, but if you really want them there for a rhythm standpoint, I'm pretty good with that. And really, after the stance and the setup, I really look at the weight shift. But one more thing on the stance and the setup is I would maybe stand up a little bit taller here. It kind of looks like he's a little bit crouched, because I think that'll just help him get in a better position. But really, when he loads his weight, he gets all of his weight back. Whoops, sorry about that. He gets all of his weight back here, and from this point here, I think really where we can make a big difference. So with his initial weight shift, what I'd like to see you guys do is really work on loading more into like a firm back leg here. And so with Votto, you can just take a look here at how Votto loads. He really loads into a firm back leg. It's going to move just a little bit, but what you can see is the angle here and how his knee really stays more on the inside part of his foot. I think that helps you be athletic, it helps you get leverage, helps you push off to create that bat speed. And taking a look over here with Max, you can see how his knee is coming over his foot when he loads. And what happens also there is you're going to see how his hips will move, which is really what is important here. So when those hips move, when the hips move back as you load, then they're going to probably slide forwards, unless you take a massive stride, kind of like Max is doing right now. So we want to clean that up, and we want to load more into a firm backside. So it's almost going to be like that's a wall, and as Max is loading back, instead of letting his weight go here, that way, what you're going to want to do is have his weight push through the floor. So it's going to feel like he's pushing through the floor, which is then going to store energy in that back leg and allow him to use that energy when he goes to swing. Okay, so we're going to do a better job of storing that energy instead of letting those hips come out. And then really from this point, what we're going to see here is a stride and separation. And this is kind of what I was talking about with this stride, where he really gets kind of way out there. And I think that's just a product of trying to make sure that he doesn't hip slide. But really from this point, what I would like to see is not necessarily like, hey, let's get a shorter stride. What I would like to see you guys work on is the connection of the hands and the front foot here. And imagining that there's a rubber band as you go to stride. So take a look here at Joey Votto. And now just watch what his front foot does and how his front foot is moved forwards, and he's expanded that rubber band there, okay? And when there's a connection between the hands and the front foot, that helps your front foot not go as far. So it just gets to the place where it needs to be. And so when I take a look here at Max's swing, what I would like to see is right about in this frame, I really want to see those hands try to resist that movement more with his front foot. So he should be getting his foot down somewhere closer to maybe a little bit after here. And I want to see him maintain that wall, push his foot through the floor, especially at this part of the swing, because that's going to allow him to correct that stride length here. And as he continues to stride forwards, what you're going to see is by the time, just check his hands out here, by the time he goes to plant his heel, and this is a little bit after because it skipped a frame, but you can just see how his hands are really low like this, and that's going to really hurt his bat speed and his power. Okay, so basically I just want to, from this point, I want to get loaded better, And then from this point, I want to do a better job of using that back foot, pushing it through the floor, getting those hands to work back to create that slingshot that's going to boom, snap. And what it will do is it will reduce the movement. It'll make it easier for him to be very, very consistent with his bat in his swing, and also give him some more power and efficiency. And so it's not like, what he's doing in his swing right now is not going to work, but when he starts to face a lot more velocity as he gets in high school, these things will rear their ugly head. So really important to get these things cleaned up, especially as he goes to get into high school. And you can even see here how his hands are starting to leak down as he's getting closer to the impact. So just kind of basically to sum it up here, we want to get loaded more into this back leg, with this back leg being firm. So Max right now is going like this. We want him to get here, where as he loads, he's pushing through his foot this way, down to the ground to store energy, loading into his back hip, and not sliding his hips this way. Okay, from this position now, when he's loaded better, we want him to get here. Okay, we want his hands to be right off his back shoulder, and we want him, as he's moving forwards, to really push through the floor. Because what I'm seeing him do now is he gets to about here, and then he just lets it kind of go out. You can see how my hands are dropping because of that, right? So if he can get loaded, get to the top, and then really push through and push his hands back, push through the floor, push his hands back, not bar his arm, but just let him go back, get him in a strong position. Now he's going to be able to drop his heel, be in a good position to hit, and then rotate his hips, fire his hips, let them follow, and now let that back get through the zone. So for Max right now, I think those are going to be the most important things. Just getting him, cleaning up his initial weight shift and his load, and then cleaning up his stride and separation to get him in a better position when his foot hits the ground, where his hands are higher, and he's in just a physically stronger position. So let me know any questions you guys have about that. And just let me know any questions. Sorry, I just got a notification. Let me know any questions you guys have about that, and then I'm looking forward to hearing back from you guys.